I think you need to make friends with somebody who is going through this, because that really helped me. Because there are some things that you think, am I the only one? Before I was a mom, so you're like, oh my God, this is so easy. How hard can it be? And I have a lot of friends who make fun of me because I say I'm going to be the boss of my son and he will do what I say. But the truth is like things are the other way around. And until you're living it and talking with other people that are going through the same thing, you understand that you're not the only one. And you need to have somebody who can you bounce idea with.
You're listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with your host, Michael Palmer. Listen each week as inspiring guests share their secrets of success to help you increase your confidence, work smarter, and build a business you love. This episode of The Successful Bookkeeper is brought to you by PureBookkeeping.com, the proven system to grow your bookkeeping business.
Welcome back to the Successful Bookkeeper Podcast. I am your host, Michael Palmer, and today's show is going to be an awesome one. Our guest is the owner of eBookkeeping, Inc., which is a virtual accounting bookkeeping business that provides a full accounting service for busy business owners. Analia Martinez, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me over.
It is our pleasure. And I met you at QuickBooks Connect San Jose, which is a fantastic event to connect with people. And I absolutely loved your story. And Analia, I am excited to have you share your story with our listener up until this point.
Yeah, thanks. So I had a friend who's been pushing me to become a bookkeeper. And this is a career that I took business classes at school. So I have a business degree, but I was just like, I didn't understand really so much about bookkeeping. And in the area where I live, there's really no Hispanic bookkeepers. So she really pushed me to do it. And then I have a kid, so I was trying to decide how to provide for my son. And working for somebody, I'm not the best employee, so I went and pretty much say, okay, let's do the bookkeeping. So here I am, like 2 years later, pretty much got my own business and now have an office where I'm starting to grow a little bit more, get more entrepreneurial as we go and learn more from the best in the areas.
That's exciting. So you kind of fell in to your career as a bookkeeper, and having started your business, what were some of the first things you did to get started?
One of the first things I did was I think I kind of went a little bit backwards. It's just something just kind of fall on my lap and be like, okay, I need a bookkeeper. And I was just like, okay, I can do it. But it was a little bit more than I was hoping for. So I kind of had to learn really fast the ropes, especially with sales taxes in California. And they were doing a lot of the changes. But, it's like my friend taught me, and then I went into get like some online classes to get myself farther up in education. And I signed up to different classes, like BBL, Bookkeeping Business Lounge. Mm-hmm. And that was a great program to help me gain the confidence that I need to grow my practice and know exactly what I need to be doing. So, yeah, that's where I started. And then it's just pretty much, it's like the friend that got me into bookkeeping, she also suggested to go to QuickBooks Connect. And the first time I went there was in 2017. And it pretty much opened my eyes to see, like, oh my God, like there is really a lot of ways to do this, and how to grow the practice virtually. So I'm still in the path of trying to grow it virtually, but I'm trying to also cater to local businesses in my area.
And what's that been like in terms of, you're established a virtual business, and you learned about that at QuickBooks Connect. Again, another great reason to attend conferences is the amazing learning opportunity. And you don't know what you don't know. But now you have a local office and you're catering to local businesses. What's that transition been like?
It's been good, actually. It's just, right now you're just kind of competing with people more. There's always competition, but you just have to be more like, okay, what is it that I want to do? And right now I'm just trying to redefine my practice as to what I want to focus on. And one of the things I learned in the conference was the whole thing of the niche. Like this year it seems like a conference I've been practicing, like focus on a niche. And my experience is in restaurants. So I'm pretty much trying to cater mostly towards restaurants, locally and virtually, in bookkeeping aspects. So I've been kind of going into talking with restaurants owners and let them know my services.
And what have how have you found that to be in terms of competing with other people in the marketplace? You've niched into restaurants. What's that been like?
Well, the clients I've been getting are Hispanics. And one of the things I've been finding out locally is that they really don't understand what bookkeeping is. So part of my job is being kind of educating them the difference between sales taxes in California and federal taxes. So they need to keep up with that, which they haven't done that. I've been getting a lot of clients that have problems with sales taxes. And that itself is becoming like a major project. And it's a good niche too to help people fix their sales taxes, But yeah, the Hispanic community doesn't really understand what bookkeeping is because they don't do that in Latin American countries. It's run completely different. The things that I've been working also is showing them how important it is to use different bank accounts, not mix a personal with a business. And they really commingle a lot of those things. But I guess that's not just Hispanics. But yeah, so it's just been like trying to translate everything that I've been learning in English into Spanish and educating them better locally, like what is the importance of doing the way that we do it and why we do it the way that we do it. So that's the project that I've been taking on.
That's very exciting. Number one, I think the lesson for our listener is when you're working with customers is their problem is your opportunity. And you're filling that opportunity with education and using it as a competitive advantage to educate them more and to bring them into the light, so to speak, around how this can be valuable to their business long term.
Yeah. So sometimes you think that there's no opportunities. The other thing that when I was at the conference, I was talking with a friend, and you hear all these opportunities that it's in the city, like she was telling me like, oh, you should become a pro advisor when we were at the conference. And I'm like, okay, I will do it. And she's like, go and take this class. I took this class. It's awesome. The problem is when I leave, the closest class I can go, it's like 4 hours driving. So it's like a whole ordeal thing for me to plan on. But it's like after a lot of thinking, I've been right now also trying to think of how I can bring everything that I'm learning in conference and things that people are doing in the big cities to bring it here locally. So I can bring those opportunities that I'm hoping for somebody in the future. So I'm working towards that. Still kind of deciding how I want to do it and what are the best steps to do it. So that's a back project thing. But yeah, like opportunities are everywhere, wherever you look and you're trying to do. So I do believe in that.
I sense that about you, and I got that sense when we first met, and I love that spirit in terms of value is providing something that you value, but more so what someone else values. And so by you traveling far, far away and bringing that knowledge back, it's a burden to you, but it's a value to your customers. And when you understand that and you actually do it, you can then have something that other people don't have, and they're willing to pay you for that value. So it's the spirit of the entrepreneur at work in you and many of our listeners, which is you're looking deeper, you're going further, and you're looking for those opportunities, and then actually taking action and doing something about it. What have been your obstacles in starting your business?
The biggest obstacle is and kind of still is, it's the organization. I think that we think that we are very organized, but we're really not organized. I mean, I've been talking with a couple of people, so I'm going to put we. But as you start learning the expectations, I think everything falls into expectations. And my biggest problem is that sometimes my expectations are too high, and I still don't know how to reach them. Not impossible to reach, but they just figure out how. And actually, I got the book for Debbie Roberts, the Emmy's bookkeeper. Mm-hmm. And it really took me from chapter 1, how things were unorganized for the person in the story. And, I feel like I'm still kind of in that process. I'm still getting better. And like I said, how it got better is by learning and going into the conference or following people in social media. Social media has been a great tool to be able to ask questions and get awesome responses from people who are better. They have more time doing bookkeeping, so they already know the ropes better, and there's always somebody teaching a class for here and that. So I'm always trying to go into those classes virtually, and you do pick up a lot of the stuff to make your system a little bit more organized. But I think that starting something is start looking into a right workflow. It will really help you a lot. So that was the biggest challenge.
It's a challenge for many, and one of the challenges around process and workflow is that at first glance, if we looked at what you do every day, you could probably say, well, it's not that difficult what you do. But if we really looked really closely, you're doing thousands of steps, it seems, every day, right? Different things. And so if those steps, whether it's 100 or 1,000 or 10,000, if you have just a little bit, a tiny percentage of inefficiency around that, times 100 or times 1,000 or times 10,000, it's an incredible amount of inefficiency. So we underestimate how complex the work that we're doing, and we don't really measure those small things. But when you take care of the small things and you improve on a small level multiple times, it leads to efficiency, and that's where people are surprised by improved process, improved workflow, is that all of a sudden it's wow, this is easy. This is going fast. I have more time. So thank you for sharing that about your journey with E-Myth Bookkeeper and Debbie Roberts. And she was where you were when she first started her business. And I love your comment on social media. You follow people on social media, you're learning from them. That tells me that you're a person that interacts and engages with people. And I'd love for you to share, where do you hang out in social media and connect with most people?
So Facebook, social media has its good and bad. And Facebook, when I decided to go into the journey on bookkeeping, Facebook has been sending me into groups. So I don't know, there's a lot of groups that I go to, of course, the Successful Bookkeeper is the one that I learned a lot of the stuff. Hector Garcia's channel and Michelle Long, QuickBooks Live. And then it's also the QuickBooks community with Matthew Fulton. and Veronica, the 5-minute bookkeeper. Those are like the key ones that I cannot follow a lot. And if I have any questions, the other one I'm starting to follow a little bit more with payroll question is Sharon with Payroll for Success in QuickBooks community. In Facebook. So I think it just depends what you're trying to accomplish, and especially if you have a niche. And one of the things is like I've also been sending like private messages to people that I kind of follow, and they've been great at answering me back and helping me to, like if something that I don't understand, they're right there to help me and willing to share their knowledge with me. And that's really helpful, because it's like, okay, it's nice to know that they're willing to help me reach my goal the same way they reach theirs. So those are my key groups that I go a lot. Or in my newsfeed and Facebook pops up a lot.
Beautiful. Well, it is a remarkable community, the community globally of bookkeepers, very supportive, and big thank you to all of the people that you mentioned for the work that they do, and thank you for sharing those groups that you're getting value from. One of the obstacles I'm sure that was one that you would have had to overcome and probably still working on overcoming is having young children while growing your business. Tell us a little bit about that journey.
It's hard. It's hard, but not impossible. At the beginning, when I was still learning, I had to pull a couple of all-nighters. My son wasn't like in daycare, so during the day I have to be with him, and at nighttime kind of study and progress my education. But now that he is in daycare, it makes it a little bit easier. And also, like, when I was working from home, I thought I was being very efficient, but I've learned that I'm not efficient when I'm at home, because it's like there's always so many other things that you have to do. And now that I have an office, I know that I need to come work until I have to pick him up, and then I can go and be a mom. And I think like putting the times, even if I'm in the future, if I have to be working from home, it's just putting the hours and know that you have from 2 or 3 hours, whatever it is that you have, it has to be for the business and nothing else. It's like I'm trying to decide which groups I want to join to start growing my practice more and let the public know more that I'm open. I've been talking with CPAs and stuff like that, but it's just putting it out there, just with a mom trying to figure out how to juggle being a mom and be a business owner. It's just, you cannot do both at the same time. So my goal is now to make sure that I put my hours at work, and my son knows that he needs to go to school so I can work. And then I have the time to be with him and actually be a good mom, not trying to commingle both things, because I was failing at both. I felt like a bad mom, and then I was not doing my job properly. So putting hours for anybody who's in that position, I would say, set the right time, just do, even if it's 2 hours, if you can have somebody to help you with your kids or something, it's just like put those hours and just focus on your business. That's something that it really helped me to do it. I'm not going to do anything else but work.
It is a little bit like, I guess the term bootstrapping. You're building a business. Many people don't have money. They don't have investors. They have to build this business, and they call that bootstrapping. And one of the other resources that many people don't have is time. And if you have children like yourself, that time is very limited. And having young children myself, it's like they logically don't understand that you need to do something. It's like for them, it's like, hey, let's go. I'm the priority, and there's going to be no distractions between me and my mom. And so that can be that can be stressful. But you were building a better life for your child, and you had to bootstrap at some level. You had to spend the all-nighters. You had to spend the extra time. You had to find a way around it. You've done that. And what advice would you give to others that are maybe just about to go through that or going through that right now around keeping your sanity?
I think you need to make friends with somebody who is going through this, because that really helped me. Because there are some things that you think, am I the only one? Before I was a mom, so you're like, oh my God, this is so easy. How hard can it be? And I have a lot of friends who make fun of me because I say I'm going to be the boss of my son and he will do what I say. But the truth is like things are the other way around. And until you're living it and talking with other people that are going through the same thing, you understand that you're not the only one. And you need to have somebody who can you bounce idea with and be like, is this working for you? This is not working for you. Are you doing this? And, it's like I have a friend that we talk every single day through Messenger. Like we can send message any time of the day. And we are like, okay, we can answer each other's questions. And don't lose courage. It's like things will take a while. Things will not happen overnight, but you have to keep pushing it. Maybe, like if somebody got clients through a friend, maybe that's not working for you, look for another outlet to do it and talk to people, like find out how they're doing it. And like I said, the best advice I can give is find somebody that you can click and be like, hey, is this working for you? Why are you doing this? Why you're not doing this? And don't be afraid to ask questions. If you're in the Facebook communities and different groups, ask the question, somebody's going to help you and answer it. It's just whether it's right, whether it's not right, it doesn't matter, but somebody's going to be there to help you and be willing to listen and learn other things. It's like, because we're right now everything with technology, we think that technology solves everything, but sometimes we need to go back into the basics and use technology and just learn a simple stuff and how to do it so we can further ourselves.
Fantastic advice. And we're blessed that we have tools like social media where we can reach out. And often I think it can be daunting for people to share their own challenges because they think that, they're their own challenges. Many people like yourself have gone through these things before. And it's one of the things that we pride ourselves around the Successful Bookkeeper community on Facebook is that it is moderated and we keep it a safe place to be searching for answers and providing answers in a bully-free environment, in a positive environment. And so, find the group for you that can provide that. If you can't find those support people in your location or you're close to your home or in in-person relationships, then find the group where you can have these kinds of conversations that Analia is speaking about. I'd love to hear a couple of when you have had a success in your business, a milestone, we'll say, you've done something where it's like, yes, I imagine moving into your office was both daunting and also gratifying. What was that like for you?
I'm still in the thing like, is this really my office? Because I was just like, I want an office. And one of the things is like, I was able to get an office last year, like in summer last year, but something was not right. My gut feeling was telling me not to go through it, and I didn't do it. And so it's like, I think also timing is important and listen to your gut feeling. It's what it will help you move forward too. If something doesn't feel right, don't do it. With my office, I got the office and then I say I'm going to open the first Monday on February. And by the last week of January, I had no internet in the office and I had no furniture in the office. And everybody's like, how are you going to open the office? And I'm like, I don't know. It's going to happen. And one of my local CPAs were giving away a desk. And I was like, okay, I will take it. It's a humongous desk. but it was free. So it was just like, okay, let's go and get it. And then I make magic to make the internet happen. And then on Monday, I was opening the office. And everybody's like, how you do it? And I don't know. It's like I do listen a lot to my gut feeling. And once I have my head set into something, I push it through. And I think it can be beneficial and can get you in trouble sometimes. But yeah, it's just like, it's still kind of like, oh my God, I have an office now. Like, it still feels a little bit surreal. I'm like, wow, I have no excuse not to keep growing. It's like things do happen at the right time as you keep pushing forward.
Remarkable. I love it. The good old can-do attitude is alive and well in your entrepreneurial spirit, which is excellent. And I will say that this week's episode is Trevor Blake, who's a New York Times bestselling author, and he talks a lot about intuition and that women have a very powerful intuition, much more connected to their intuition than men, and that men, his advice is that men should get better at listening to their own intuition. And you've used your intuition for your success. And I would also say that it's just trusting your intuition and taking the action that aligns with the intuition, which is remarkable, what you've created. So when you have a success, do you do like a fist pump? Do you just kind of smile? What's a celebration look like for you?
I smile more every day, and and then also like be really thankful for the chances. It's a success, but then at the same time, it's like, okay, now it's come also with more responsibilities. And I don't know, like I take my son probably to the movies, or we go and do something fun, like celebrate with the ice cream with him. So he's my partner in everything right now. So, it's like my life just revolves around work and him. Like I have work and then I have to be doing stuff with him. And then like friends, like friends come and celebrate with me. But it's like, I think once you start getting into that train of succeeding, you want to keep going farther and farther. So I think I still haven't decided when it's to stop, but right now I feel like I'm still starting in the whole, in all this bookkeeping trip and see how far I can go.
It's remarkable. I absolutely love your story of your son and celebrating with your son when you've reached milestones. And your son is so blessed to have a mother like yourself. Wonderful.
The time came perfectly to hear what I needed to hear, just to know that I'm doing it, because like I say, I think when you're going through stuff, you don't think that you are making it, but change still happens little by little, and then all of a sudden there's big changes. So thank you so much.
It is amazing, isn't it? Sometimes you can look at something in a situation that you're in and very difficult to even imagine it being any other way. And then in a short period of time, through luck, through, divine intervention, all of a sudden the fog lifts, the light shines through, and it's like, that was easy, So
yeah. It's like, what was I studying about? Look at this. It's like so fast. It's like simple.
And looking back, right? And so I think it's a good reminder for us all to always be cognizant of the fact that whatever we're dealing with today, we're meant to deal with it today, and tomorrow we'll be able to deal with it a lot better, whether it's a lot or a little bit. And life only gives us things that we can handle, and it's developing us for the next bit. So I think it's tough sometimes being a small business owner, and even more difficult when you've got dependents like small children. The time is limited and scarce, and so and as well economically, right? So it's my hat is off to you, and it's just so great to have you part of the community and seeing you doing it, right? It's like where you are today, you won't even believe it in a year from now where you are.
Exactly. It's just, I say even yesterday, whatever happened yesterday, today is a better day. It's just keep pushing forward and keep going.
That's right.
That's
right. It's a wonderful story. Thank you to QuickBooks for connecting people like you with other people. I know meeting you there, I saw you with some of the people that you'd met there. And, I think it's, for anyone listening, whether it's QuickBooks Connect or whether it's the XeroCon or Scaling New Heights, or in Canada, a big one is the Institute of Professional Bookkeepers of Canada holds an annual event. You really must put it on your schedule to get there. Magical things can happen when you go and meet other people and learn new things. And you've shared so many of those with us today. And thank you for being a part of the community and for coming on to the podcast and sharing your story and what you've been going through and what you've been working at and where you've been successful.
Thank you for inviting me. It's really appreciated, just to... this is like a big celebration for me too, because I never thought we'll be part of a podcast, just like, you feel like, maybe I am doing something right. It's nothing, and things are not as bad as one thinks that it is. But I really appreciate for all days, and meeting you in QuickBooks Connect was a great experience. Like you say, I got to meet a lot of people. I'm still in touch with them. And like I say, the community in social media, it's always there to help too. So I feel really lucky and really thankful for all these opportunities.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again for being on the podcast today.
Thank you, Michael.
And with that, we wrap another episode of the Successful Bookkeeper Podcast. To learn more about today's wonderful guest and to get access to all sorts of valuable free business building resources, you can go to thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Until next time, goodbye. Oh yeah, one last thing. If you do get value from this podcast, please leave a review. Let us know at our Facebook page. Let us know at the podcast that you listen to, whether it's Spotify or Apple or Google. Please leave a review for others. What did you find value? And let us know what you'd like to see more of. And with that, we will say goodbye.
You've been listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with Michael Palmer. For more information and to download the resources mentioned in this episode, please visit us at thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Thank you for listening.